Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I want to talk to you a little bit about why dismissive avoidant attachment style individuals may block somebody while in a relationship with them or just out of a relationship. So if there's been a recent breakup. And we'll talk about a few different reasons why, a couple different versions here, and then we'll talk about what you can do if you're on the receiving end. So first and foremost, the number one, when you're in a relationship, reason that somebody may block another person, or specifically a dismissive avoidant may block their partner, is when they're feeling fed up and just over conflict. When they feel like, okay, I just cannot do this anymore. I can't have conflict. I don't want to face the issue or problem right now, because dismissive avoidants are known for going into their shell, right? For really wanting to avoid conflict, hide, keep themselves safe. A lot of their coping mechanisms are avoidant related. So they literally will like go out of their way to avoid things, whether it's a conflict, a tough conversation, working through their feelings. And really, by avoiding the challenging conversation, they're avoiding the feelings associated that they're afraid to feel if they come up in regards to the challenging conversation, right? So if I can avoid a conflict, I get to avoid my feelings about the conflict, my feelings of unease, my feelings of frustration, sadness, despair, anxiety, fear, any of these different emotions. And so this usually has a lot to do with what this individual is facing. And this usually has a lot to do with why they have the avoidance strategies that they do. And something that's really important to recognize here is that it's usually not personal, right? It's not about you not being worthy or not being loved or cared for. It's about this person not knowing how to handle the conflict and really feeling afraid of their own emotions that will be associated with it. And this doesn't mean that I'm not saying it's not personal so that you can hear that and then go, okay, so I'll just put up with it. Like, obviously we have to have boundaries. Obviously we have to have like standards and non-negotiables in our relationships. And we definitely don't want to be in a relationship with anybody. As we talk through this series, whether you're anxious, preoccupied, fearful, avoidant, dismissive, avoidant, it's not healthy to be blocking people while you're in a relationship. That should not be something that ever takes place. And it's really not a good sign, to be quite honest, of somebody blocking, because it's a sign that the person usually is unwilling to really work through things, or doesn't have the emotional bandwidth or the tools, or just the desire enough to overcome their fears and internal challenges in order to want to put the work into a relationship, which, as we know, is a really necessary part of a relationship working, right? Long term, if we can't put the work in, we're inevitably going to be on a trajectory towards failure in a relationship, because there's always going to be things to work on at different stages of the relationship, especially. So that tends to be a major reason that this can take place within a relationship dynamic. Now, after a relationship dynamic, it's usually to set a boundary, right? It's usually to say, okay, I really need to keep this person away. And this is sort of a final piece of the relationship. I don't want to go back there. But the really interesting part here that may be surprising for some of you guys is that DAs often will do this as well when they don't trust their own emotions, when they don't trust, like, oh, hey, I still have feelings here, so let me create that artificial space by blocking somebody. And it just creates that extra barrier. Like when I feel like maybe texting somebody, or I think of reaching out, by blocking them instead, it's like, I look at that, I don't want to unblock them. It's a reminder when I think about texting them that no, they're blocked for a reason. And again, it's to create more of that space, either because they don't want to feel their own feelings, they logically don't think that the relationship's a good fit, they don't want to go back in that direction, and they're trying to create a sense of closure, most so for themselves in that situation. So what can you do if you're on the receiving end of this? Well, number one, you can, make sure that you are clear that this is not personal, right? It's about the person's own challenge and fears of dealing with their own feelings and their own woundedness and things that they need to work through. And it's not about you not being good enough, or they wouldn't have blocked you, or you not being worthy enough or lovable. It's literally about, usually there's a big incompatibility in a relationship, and this person doesn't feel capable of working through it, doesn't know how, and really has lost the energy and motivation to do so. So they create the barrier to create that sense of closure and protection and safety for themselves. And this is usually where that's coming from. And number two, it's really important to have boundaries around this, right? Like, what do you want in your relationships going forward? forward. It's really great to have a standard that says, we will work through things collectively. We will work through things together. We're going to set the intention to do so. And that's going to be really important. And the more you have these healthy foundations and principles supporting your relationship, the more likely you are to be successful in a relationship dynamic. And if you're wondering, like, what tools are really important for you and what you need in order to create secure relationship dynamics going forward, I highly recommend checking out for free for 7 days our 12 key pillars to a securely attached relationship. And it talks about all the really important foundational components that you need for a loving, thriving relationship that lasts, that has a lot of connection. And it helps you reprogram anything within you that may be blocked from being able to get to that pillar, right? So whether it's like a lack of feeling like you can trust somebody, okay, what's the work you need to do on trust so that you can show up in a healthy way and be ready for a secure relationship, and that you can be attaching in a secure manner. So it takes you through those 12 key pillars, helps you reverse engineer the steps to achieve those things. And I highly recommend checking it out if you've got this sort of series of unhealthy relationships and you want a lasting, thriving relationship in the future. So you can click the link in the description box below if you want to check that out. And thank you so, so much for being here and for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video.